So hello you guys and welcome back to my channel. So yeah, it's time to do a little chatty video about the last episode that we saw, or the most recent episode that we saw. Why am I sitting so high up? So episode 19. So I said it before that I was looking forward to seeing this one because it's no secret. I love Father Gabriel as a character. I love everything that he's been through since he came into the show, but I also love Aaron as well. And I feel like they're both characters that they've been in the show for so long that they are just kind of taken for granted. That they're just treated as characters that are just kind of like there, you know what I'm saying? So to get an episode of just the two of them, I really enjoyed it. Now I know a lot of people are saying, or a lot of people aren't really feeling these bonus episodes because they are kind of smaller scale. They are more anthology style, where you are just zoning in on one or two episodes, or one or two characters, per episode, and it does feel a lot smaller. It does feel a lot kind of like you're putting the characters and a regular storyline under the microscope, you know? So you're looking at things. There is a different vibe. There's a very different vibe to this. Personally, I like that. I like episodes that are like that. Like I've said before, still it's my favourite episode, you know? So this kind of style is right up my street, but I know it's not everyone's cup of tea. But I really did enjoy getting to see the two of them on screen together. Gabriel is like, I don't know. I feel like every time I talk about him, I say the same thing, but it is incredible what he's done in his time on the show, going from being who he was introduced as into being this absolute batshit insane badass, you know, and getting to hear that little bit of backstory where him and Aaron were passed out drunk, which, by the way, holy shit, that was everything. The two of them getting drunk, gambling, and then having that deep, meaningful, piss drunk 3 a.m. let's talk about our feels scene. I loved that. I really did. But getting to hear Gabe talk about like where he got his beginnings as a priest, as a little baby priestling, and what he was taught and who he learned from and stuff. I don't know. It's nice getting to hear his backstory because I never really considered it before, you know? And like that, like with Aaron saying that he should go back preaching again and Aaron should go back trying to recruit people again. It really kind of shows the weird in-between state that everyone's in the show at the moment. It's like everything has been turned upside down because it has. Everything's been turned on its head, and getting to see them just have one night of like, God, you know, let us just reminisce and talk about like the good old days and what everything was like before it went to shit. And I don't even mean like apocalypse went to shit, you know, I mean just in general. Seeing Aaron pick up the teddy bear as well and be like, oh my God, remember when people went crazy for this? It's nuts because it just shows that like what's important and what seems like such a big deal now could mean absolutely nothing in a month or a week or a year's time. But to him, it was still a little teddy bear to bring home to his baby, you know? So it's just, I don't know, this episode really hit me different. The scene as well with the lovers up on the mattress, up on the roof. That was so sad, but like visually stunning. This episode was full of really gorgeous visuals. I just feel like, I don't know, I feel like this episode was heavy. It was a lot heavier without like even explicitly coming out and saying it. Like a lot of the visuals and stuff, it was just a lot. And I've said it before, I don't know if I'm just a sensitive little bitch. I don't know if I'm just like in that kind of headspace where if you even look at me wrong, I burst into tears. But this episode felt really weighted. I did really enjoy it, but it did feel really weighted. I gotta say though, I loved the scene with the walker shedding its gloves. His hands just went and came clean off. That was absolutely brilliant. The Whisperers, had they been alive, would have been quaking in the tree line like, oh my God, we never thought about that. They never did they? The Whisperers only wore faces. Pussies. They should have committed. Got full chest pieces and like hands and gloves and stuff. That game of Russian roulette was absolutely... It was intense. And from the promo trailer and the images and stuff that we got before these episodes even came out, that shot of Aaron where he's screaming and he's the gun to his head, that made me so anxious. And I don't know, I feel like plot armor, we all know plot armor exists in the Walking Dead universe, yeah. But it's like there's still that little doubt in the back of your mind going, well, how strong is the plot armor? Are we gonna lose someone right now? So that scene with the two of them in Russian roulette, it stressed me the fuck out, as I think it did everyone. But it gave the most beautiful amount of stress and tension. And the acting in this episode was absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. You'd Gabe giving his little speech about how like, no, like everyone's lived through something and you don't need to be that. You can be good. You know. His little pre-murder speech. I wasn't expecting him to swing in out of nowhere, but it does kind of keep in line with his character. So in a way, I was like, what? Maze was insane this episode. I like that when a character comes in, even just for one episode, they make their impact and then they bounce and they fucking leave. I do feel like Maze could have been a good character to keep around for a while. I would have liked to. I don't mean like I would have liked to have seen more of him, as in like, you know, how he'd fit in. I just mean he was so interesting. He's a dude who, you know, by his terms or by his storytelling, was a family man, yeah, and was reliable and loving, but then shit hit the fan and he ended up killing his fucking brother and his niece or nephew. That's not someone you want around your family. That's not someone you want to bring home and be like, what's up guys, so this is Maze. How did we meet? Funny story. He forced us into a game of Russian roulette, but it's all good now. You know, I don't think there would have been any coming back from that, so there would have been no place for him in the story. But he was such a kind of crazy, complex dude that I would have liked to have seen more. But he came into that one episode, made his impact, and then left. And yes, he was that guy from the Terminator, as everyone was asking or pointing out in the comments. So I liked it. I thought it was a good episode. I liked the pacing. These episodes weren't even supposed to happen anyway. Do you know what I mean? So they're just like a bonus, and I'm loving it. I like the smaller, standalone episodes. As much as I do love the big story arcs and the big stories that you have to follow and you got to keep up with, I do like the smaller kind of little side quests too. And this one is one of my favourite episodes of the season, of all of season 10. I really loved it. I love the humanity of it. I love the moral kind of compass questioning that it raises. Because in that moment when either Gabe or Aaron had the gun in their hand, I was like, just point and shoot at your man. Yes, I said that. And then of course you had the know-it-all little pricks in the comments being like, oh my god, he has a gun on them. But when Aaron loaded the gun, or when Aaron, you could hear the gun click into the chamber, you could have turned and just and shot your man then and there. Okay, he didn't need to, because Gabe takes care of business later on. But like that, it instills the kind of fight or flight in you, like what's right and what's wrong. Should they have shot him and killed him? Was Gabe right to do what he did? Are we all just trying our best to fucking get through the day and survive? I don't know. I feel like personally, my thoughts and my views on everything has changed since March of 2020. You know what I'm saying? I've seen some shit and it's changed my view and my outlook on everything. And I feel like I'm looking at everything through a completely different Rona lens. And I'm looking at stuff and I'm like, like if that was me and my best friend and we were chilling, we had a nice little sleepover, we got a little bit tipsy, and then you wake up the next morning after eating some pig or some boar, and you got a man forcing you into Russian roulette, being all like, I'm gonna teach you something. Yeah, I'd probably kill him too. I probably would. Should I admit that out loud? But I'm so excited for next week's episode. I'm so excited to get to see the king again. Ezekiel is one of my absolute favourites. I don't know, I feel like with the show moving on, and with like how fast it's been, well, it hasn't been progressing fast at all. We've had like a year of stalling. But you know what I'm saying, like with the storyline progressing, I guess, and with the world getting so much bigger in the show and so many more characters being announced or brought into the show, a lot of characters that I love, I'm like, they're not getting enough screen time. So yeah, I want to see more of Zeke, which we're going to get next episode. I want to see more Princess, which we're going to get more of next episode. I can't talk today, okay? Lads, Paddy's Day was 2 days ago, and I'm still a small bit hungover. I got so drunk, I tried to seatbelt myself into bed and couldn't find a seatbelt and got very frustrated with myself. That's how Paddy's Day went. So yeah, my brain has been a little bit fried since then, and I'm like, what are you even saying? Do you know when your mouth is moving and your brain just turns the fuck off and goes to another dimension? That's been happening. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more content from me, the link to my Patreon is down below, where I do reactions to a whole bunch of shows. Like, there's WandaVision, there's The Punisher, there's Daredevil, there's extended versions of my Walking Dead reactions go up over there. The 100, Sabrina, Doctor Who, there's a whole bunch. So the link's below if you want to check that out. I would very much appreciate if my wrist did not crack when I'm trying to give a speech. If you want to check that out, I'd very much appreciate that. The link to my Twitter and my Instagram is also down below if you want to connect and say hello. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you all soon.